Now, let's bring in one of those potential Republican candidates, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator, I want to start with the headline on a Salon.com website this week, which says Lindsey Graham loses his mind for saying the man who flew down the National Mall in a gyrocopter this week should have been either forced down or shot down. Are you serious about that?
Yeah. Deadly serious. I think our nation's at war with radical Islam. The primary goal of these groups is to attack our nation. Washington's a prime target. This many years after 9/11, with this many groups wanting to hurt us at home, I'm just astounded that somebody could do what he did. I'm glad he's not hurt, but that just shows you how far our defenses have fallen. And this president constantly minimizes the threats we face as a nation. I will not be part of that.
Now, some people may say Lindsey Graham loses his mind for seriously considering running for president in 2016. Carly Fiorina, Carly Fiorina told us a couple of weeks ago that it's a 90% chance that she will get into the race. What's the percent chance that you're going to get in?
91.
Seriously?
Yeah, I think so. I've got to put the means together. I think I got a good message. I think I've been more right than wrong on foreign policy. I've criticized the president for leading from behind, for being weak and indecisive. I've been a problem solver in Washington, and I think I've got something to offer the party and the nation. I'll make that decision in May. If I can raise the money, I'll do it.
Here's why some people are skeptical, and let's put some issues up on the screen. You believe that climate change is real and the federal government must address it. You're open to raising taxes as part of a grand bargain. You support comprehensive immigration reform. In your home state of South Carolina, you are at this point running fourth behind Walker, Bush, and Cruz, and 55% of those polled in your home state say they would not consider voting for you for president. Are you too moderate? Are you too far in the center on non-defense issues to win the Republican nomination?
Not at all. I believe climate change is real, but I reject the cap-and-trade solution of Al Gore. He's made it a religion. I think it's a problem. I'd like to clean up the air and the water, become more energy independent, create jobs. I'm for offshore drilling. I'm for finding oil and gas that we own. I'm for coal. I'm for clean coal. I'm for natural gas, but I'd like a lower carbon economy over time, clean up the air, and create jobs in the process.
Raising taxes as part of a grand bargain?
I'm for Simpson-Bowles. It doesn't raise taxes. It closes loopholes and takes the money that we would give to a few people and put it on the debt. We're $18 trillion in debt. 80 million baby boomers are going to retire in the next 20 to 30 years. We're going to wipe out Social Security and Medicare. We're going to have to adjust the age of retirement for younger people. People at my income level are going to have their benefits means tested. Democrats are going to want a simpler tax code, so I'm for eliminating deductions and taking some of the money to buy down rates and put it on the debt. To me, that's not raising taxes, that's solving a problem.
So, Senator, why do you think that, and I understand it's early, but why do you think you run so poorly in your home state?
Well, if I didn't think I could win South Carolina, I wouldn't be talking to you. I just had a primary with 6 opponents. I won by 41 points. I've been elected numerous times in South Carolina. If I'm on the ballot, I'm going to win South Carolina.
All right, I want to do a lightning round. Quick questions, quick answers with you about some of your opponents. You say Marco Rubio is too afraid of the right wing of the Republican Party.
Well, Marco Rubio, I think, will be president one day. Whether or not 2016 is his time, time will tell. He embraced immigration reform. He seems to have backed off. I'll let him explain why. I think comprehensive immigration reform was securing your border and dealing rationally with 11 million is the only way we're going to solve this problem. I like Marco.
You took Ted Cruz to task for saying that the Second Amendment is the ultimate check against government tyranny.
Yeah, the ultimate check against government tyranny is an informed electorate who will elect people who believe in limited government. I don't want to embrace the idea that I believe that we want people to take to the streets with guns. I want people to go to the voting booth and check an out-of-control government by electing conservatives.
As for Rand Paul, and you've been very critical of his national defense security policy, are you convinced that his recent tougher stand on some national security issues is genuine?
I hope some of it is, but he's the libertarian in a race. The Lindsey Graham view of foreign policy is going to beat Rand Paul's libertarian view of foreign policy. It will beat Barack Obama's view of foreign policy. It will beat Hillary Clinton's view of foreign policy. He said at this summit that a terrorist detained under the law of war at Gitmo is entitled to a trial. I've been a military lawyer for 33 years. A member of al-Qaeda or their affiliate group can be detained under law of war as long as they're a threat to our nation without a trial. He wants to fight a crime. I am fighting a war. Big difference.
Let's turn to the nuclear talks with Iran. President Obama made some news this week when he seemed to indicate that he would be willing to lift sanctions faster than seemed to have been agreed to in the framework deal, instead of waiting until the Iran has implemented all the restrictions in the deal. Here's what President Obama had to say.
Our main concern here is making sure that if Iran doesn't abide by its agreement, that we don't have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops in order to reinstate sanctions.
Senator, what do you think of that, which some people are reading as yet another concession to the Iranians?
I think Barack Obama's deal is deteriorating before our eyes. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell that a Congress is going to approve this framework the way it's set up. The Ayatollah is saying he gets immediate sanction relief with no intrusive inspections. I will release today 9 core principles of what I think a good deal would look like. Anytime, anywhere inspections of non-military and military facilities will be a bipartisan must. So this idea that we can't go where we need to go is going to fail. The Chinese are talking about building 5 reactors for the Iranians. Any nuclear program, enrichment program, must be limited to 1 reactor. At the end of the day, you can't lift sanctions until the behavior of Iran changes. They can no longer be a state sponsor of terrorism before you lift sanctions down the road. So I think the framework presented by President Obama is completely different in the eyes of the Iranians, and the Congress will look at this, will have a say, will vote before we lift congressional sanctions. And I don't think there's any chance we're going to lift congressional sanctions as long as you have hardened sites like Bordeaux still open.
Well, wait a minute, because you're talking about the Corker-Menendez bill, which passed the Senate Foreign Relations Committee unanimously. Looks like it's going to pass the House and the Senate. And that would say that Congress has 30 days after the deal is finally presented to approve it or disapprove it. You're saying there's no chance that, well, I mean, let me ask you, because there's a flip side of it. It isn't that Congress has to approve it. What can happen is they can disapprove it, then the president vetoes it, and then all he needs is 34 votes, for instance, in the Senate to make his veto stand up. Are you saying that he's not going to have 34 votes in the Senate?
I'm saying if there's a final deal that doesn't require any time, anywhere inspections, that the Senate will not go along with that. I'm saying that if you keep hardened secret sites open, you're not going to get Senate approval. Nobody in the Senate, in a bipartisan fashion, trusts the Iranians. They lie, they cheat, they're a murderous regime. They've been trying to develop a nuclear weapon. The framework that I've been presented with has to be turned into a final deal, and there is no way we're going to approve a deal that doesn't allow for inspections anytime, anywhere, remove all the highly enriched uranium, and limit their nuclear enrichment program to something for 1 reactor that can never be used to make a bomb. I'm highly confident, given the Iranian behavior of turning the world upside down, that the framework, if it does become a final deal, is going to have a hard time getting through the Senate because it is so weak.
But just real quickly, because we're running out of time, it doesn't have to get through the Senate. It's the question as to whether or not the president's veto would stand up. Are you saying that you think the Senate would override his veto?
If the final agreement doesn't allow anytime, anywhere inspections, it has a large enrichment program. It keeps Bordeaux an underground secret site, reinforced site open, that he will get it will be rejected large enough to override a veto, because members of the Senate understand that this is the most consequential vote we will ever take, and the Iranians can't be trusted. They lie, they cheat, and this deal, in my view, would allow too many opportunities for them to break out. I'll wait and see how it looks on paper, but if you don't have any time, anywhere inspections, forget about it. I just don't think any Democrat or Republican is going to agree to allow that to become binding.
Finally, Senator, we got about a minute left. There was an article in the Washington Post this week that I must say told me a lot of things that I didn't know about you. It detailed the fact that when you were at the University of South Carolina as an undergraduate, you lost both your mom and your dad within 15 months, and that you basically brought up and supported your then 13-year-old sister, Darlene, and some of your friends suggested that might have been a reason why you never got married. We can't put you on the psychiatrist couch, but how did those traumatic events, how did they shape your life, sir?
It changed me. It made me realize that the promise of tomorrow is just a promise, that I assumed things early on I never assume again. It taught me how much I was loved by the rest of my family. My aunt and uncle helped me raise my sister. Social Security survivor benefits coming into my family made a world of difference. I moved in with an aunt and uncle who helped raise my sister, never made over $25,000 in her life working in textile plants. My mom's disease, Hodgkin's disease, wiped us out financially. We eventually lost our businesses. I understand we're all one car wreck away from needing help, but what it told Lindsey Graham above all else is that family, friends, and faith really do matter, and I'm a lucky man to have had all the support I've had all these years, and I'm trying my best to pay back a country who's been so good to me. I love my sister, and to all those who've helped me all these years, thank you so much.
Senator Graham, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for coming on. Always good to talk with you, sir.
Thank you.